I took him away from a lot of drugs and a lot of partying. Not a lot of pussy. I'm not saying that, maybe. I don't know. But I took him away from a lot of drugs. And we were in New Orleans with this guy, Craig Massey, who is a super fan, stupid. And I walked in, we were at his house, and he had like a trailer or whatever in the back, like not like a mobile home, but like a fifth wheel. You know what I mean? Like a thing you take out on the road. I walked in and Greg was doing the lines. And I was like, because Greg's old. I'm like,
Sure.
I've never snorted a line. I've been around piles and piles and piles of coke. I've cut lines for gangsters and shanksters, whatever, but I've never snorted a line. I wouldn't even know what it felt like
Mm.
because I'm scared. But so watching Greg's doing lines, and he was like, oh, Greg. So later we were in on like Bourbon Street or whatever partying, and I noticed that Craig gave Brutus something. Now this is when I was like normal and like not like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, laying down the law. But this is when I was like, all right, whatever. Reeling him in, like, okay, let's get away from the drugs. Let's not, and he'd be like, oh, it's prescription. And I'd say, but it's not your prescription. Like, duh. So I said to Brutus, I go, what did Craig just give you? And he was like, nothing. I'm like, no, I saw Craig give you something. What did he give you? And he goes, Coke, it's for Greg. I said, well, why did he give it to you? And he said, oh, because I'm going to do a bump. Now, I don't know what the fuck a bump was. Bump a line? Is it the whatever? That? And
Right.
I was like, oh, hell, oh, no, you're not. Um, Greg ended up leaving us that night because Greg said that he had the heebie-jeebies, like from doing coke. His heart was racing, so he actually left us. I didn't know he left us because he had the heebie-jeebies until the next day. If I had known Greg was having like some type of problem, I would have made sure that I took care of him. But um, you know, there's so many guys that are dead from doing drugs and prescription, not prescription, from pain, whatever it is, depression. But when I met Brutus and realized that he had a problem, there's a video. Let's talk about this video that people like to talk about. um where he talks about Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels roofing girls and, having them drop their laundry, whatever it is. That video was made. It was like 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. It was really, really early. And I think it was in New York. And I remember calling him and he wasn't answering the phone, which is odd. I didn't know he was doing this video shoot that early. I knew he was going to do a video shoot. So he answers the phone and she's like, what? And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making money. I'm doing fine. I said, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You fucking drunk? No, I'm not. I'm making money. I said, you're fucking drunk. Are you on drugs? What are you doing? He was with this guy, Andrew Anderson, who is a tri state legend.
Well,
Excuse me.
that is, by the way, that's the first time I've ever heard of Anderson called as a tri-state legend. So very good.
What the fuck? What else is he?
I,
Like, that's props.
that's what I'm
Like,
saying. You
that's
got him
giving
up
him
there.
credit.
Tri-state legend. Tri-state's pretty big.
Is it? Okay. Well, he's a he's a tri-state legend. Like he says that he was like he co-starred in the movie The Wrestler. Okay. No, you didn't. But but anyway, so Brutus was drunk and or on drugs when he made that shoot. Um it was, tell us the most ridiculous story that you ever heard, and it happened to be the Marty Jannetty Midnight Rockers story about, girls and drugs and whatnot. But, we have made it clear, and it needs to be clear, that girls lined up to be with Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. So if there were drugs, there were drugs. Yes. Were they roofied? Were they passed out? Were they? Hell to no. Panties were dropped before they went in the hotel room door.
Right.
Period. The end. It was a fuck up on Brutus's part, being drunk at 6 o'clock in the morning with Andrew Anderson, the fucking pharmacy. And it is
Missy,
what it
Missy,
is.
by the way, our producer is so good. He's got a video
Come
of.
on,
Check it out. Check this video out.
sexy.
Why don't you
Handsome.
go out and
Jealousy in the wrestling business?
yeah, say okay, unheard of, right? Bruce Beefcake.
Well, he's getting buried tonight.
Oh yeah, you know what? He's a crybaby. He's saying, I technically retired him. I hurt his back in Miccosukee, Florida, so he just didn't want to work because he was going to collect disability. So the hell with him.
What is that all about, Missy?
What's funny is Greg Valentine was there. Greg was egging him on at one point. The fact that Drew Anderson, in his wildest dreams, would ever think that Brutus was jealous of him, he must have been on drugs. The truth of the story is that Andrew, when Brutus was going through his divorce, got together with Brutus's ex-wife, wasn't his ex-wife at the time, but his ex-wife, Barbie. They cahooted, or whatever the word is, because I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is. Forgive me. They got together. They devised a plan. Drew was supposed to cripple Brutus in Miccosukee, or whatever, the Indian reservation.
Mm-hmm.
So Brutus wrestled Andrew. Brutus had his back turned to him before anything started. Was like doing whatever he does, like to the audience. And Drew came at him with a shoulder and hit him in his lower back. The next day, or a couple days later, on Drew's Facebook, he posted a photo of him and Brutus's ex-wife posted, well, it looks like he's not crippled. Andrew, who's always trying to invent himself, reinvent himself, whatever, for whatever reason, thought that was a good idea to get with Brutus's ex-wife, who at the time, or not even at that time, like fast forward and we'll talk about the Hall of Fame. I don't know how long we've been on or how much time we have, but we'll talk about the Hall of Fame and her trying to derail the Hall of Fame thing. But for whatever reason, he thought that he could side with her, get with her for whatever reason, maybe because she was friends with Hogan and Brutus wasn't friends with him at the time, but would want to hurt, maim, or cripple someone that had done so much for him. It just doesn't. And he did hurt Brutus. I mean, he did. He injured him for sure. Did he retire Brutus, like he likes to say? Fuck no, dick, you didn't. But he did.
Are you saying, though, in a world where they're supposed to take care of each other, Anderson purposely hurt your husband?
Yeah, he did. Yes,
Wow.
he did. But here's the scoop. The tri-state legend was never signed with the WWE, the WWF, AEW, or ABCD because he's a fucking loser.